There we go. Let's do a sound check again. $5. Yeah, I know. It should sound better now. How's that? Got him? There we go. Yeah, I mean, you guys just missed it. I announced who made the VIP, and you just missed it because I was on mute, I guess. Maybe next time. That being said, how's everyone trading? How's everybody's day today? It's Thursday, and tomorrow is Friday. Actually, today's the start of Friday trading day, and the markets are starting to move. Yes, gotta troll the trolls. That's what happens. Is all the good stuff has been on mute. Losing day today. Was there news? I don't think there was news. I mean, we are. You can see my screen, and you can look over here into this Trader Hub, and we do have a lot of Chinese data coming out, and so maybe the market can see some more volatility based off of this. We'll see. I'm not paying too much attention to that, but it will affect the markets, and it might bring some volatility as well. But let's get started. Let's go through our regular slow markets rapid fire. And before we do that, as always, there's our Topstep risk disclosure for educational purposes only. And welcome. It's slow markets. It's been a very crazy, busy day for me. I finally started studying for the Series 3. My test is tomorrow, so we'll see if I could pass it with one day of studying. Pretty funny if I can. Other than that, still struggling with tooth pain. I'll be getting my wisdom teeth out next week. And so just to update everybody here, and I'll say this again, in the middle of class when we get a lot of people in here as well, that, you guys might miss me next week. I'm getting my wisdom teeth taken out on Tuesday, so you won't see me Tuesday night. You won't see me Wednesday night. Maybe there's a chance on Thursday night, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It depends on how I'm feeling. I'm not gonna push it. Maybe, yeah, we'll see. Yeah, funny thing is, and if you guys caught yesterday, is I made sure that the risk management team is going to be locking me out of my accounts the day that I'm getting my wisdom teeth pulled. I'm getting all 4 at once. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, you'll still see me up until Tuesday at noon. Anyway, that being said, what a day in the markets. It was such an interesting day. I mean, this market's it's a rough one. This market is definitely a rough market to read. It's far from easy to trade. So we take this on a daily chart, and this is a daily chart on the NASDAQ. Then we'll take a look at crude oil, the Nikkei, and then finish it off with gold. But look at this candle. We rallied all the way back up to 592. And then we sold off all the way down to basically, what's the low? 278. I mean, we went tonight, we went down to 318. I mean, it's hard. This is a very volatile. We're seeing more volatility, which is good for trading, but not great for trending markets. And yeah, we're kind of just sitting right in the middle of this zone, right? Like this is the zone we were looking at. Looks like we went to up to the high end of the zone. We went to the low end of this, and we started to break down. And so maybe there's even an argument to be made that we look at something like this, right, where it's kind of extreme to look at it this way, where we're looking at 20,200 is the low, maybe looking at 20,680, 20,700. Like this area is going to be tough to trade because what are we going to be looking for? Are we going to be looking for a breakout trade? If so, we're going to have to wait for the market to get all the way up to 20,600-700 for a breakout to the long side, or we wait for a market to sell off, break below 20,200, and then maybe we could return to these lows of maybe, do we see 20,000 evens again? That's a possibility if we come down here to this consolidation. If we do start to sell off around 20,000 evens, if not, yeah, it's not very clear on the daily. So let's move into an hourly chart and see if we could get more information. And as we start to zoom in, it's just as messy, right? If there's anything to be had, there is a high. Here is a low, and technically you could say we broke through these lows of October 11th and 10th. And today, maybe you could officially say we've made a lower high. So yeah, I could say that this was a lower high so far. And now the question is, do we come down and do we break and make a lower low? If we do, I think 20,000 even, maybe just below that into this consolidation we've seen at the beginning of October. There was a lot of consolidation here, and is a big mess. And so maybe we come down and see this area. Like, that is very realistic. That if we do have a sell-off, we could get there. But until then, what else would we look for? This is a really messy market where is there a possibility of us coming and just making a higher low and maybe an equal low and then look for us to just maybe rotate back up? I don't know, to be honest. Who really does? Maybe we look at something like this, right, where we've seen these higher lows at the beginning of August, higher low, higher low. They weren't much higher, but it was still holding up the market. So maybe we see something like that. I'm not sure. There's a lot of indecisive, and you guys could probably hear by the way that I'm talking is I don't have that confidence in the market from a technical standpoint because it's been so messy. That's the only word I could come up with and I could think of. And if I look at a 5-minute chart, essentially it's more of the same. I don't have much to go off of. Like, maybe that was something. I feel like I'm just grabbing for straws or something, and it's just very hard to trade from a technical standpoint. Today, during the daily price action, wasn't too difficult if we're looking at the more immediate price action. And I'm looking at it from, we had this huge rally, and this was overnight, which was pretty dang impressive. 20,300 all the way up to almost 20,600. That was a huge move overnight. And then we sold off as soon as the New York session opened, and we had a double bottom. So there's two trades that I really liked today. We had a 3-bar reversal here, basically off of this resistance, or this was resistance. There's a nice resistance level overnight and during the New York session yesterday. This was key resistance during the New York session yesterday. Well, we sold off down. That resistance became support, and it not only one good trade, there was 2 good trades off of this one. I took this trade, and you guys know I was on TopstepTV on the YouTube chat. I was letting everyone know. It's like, hey, I'm actually long at the pullback right here. I didn't take the breakout. I actually ended up, getting in on this little pullback around 22. I got in at 422. And then I held it. I didn't hold it the entire move. I ended up closing out at like 475 and then held 1 or 2 up to the 500 level. And I'll go through this more and kind of show you what I was trading. But other than that, we look like I did take a loss on this. I was looking for this to find continuation. So I was looking for this market to move either and test the 520s and maybe have a chance to run up into the upper 500s. So I was actually long right here and hit my stop loss on that one. So I had a great winning trade and then a losing trade off of this. And then I was done for the day. It was a very whipsaw. I ended up positive. I ended up, I think I don't know. I think 13,000. I'll have to go back and check. But yeah, I was up a lot more at one point on this trade. So other than that, I mean, here we are. We broke through the lows, and we've got quite the sell-off going on tonight. And you can see we opened up here at 5 p.m. Central, right around the 380s, and we were already down. We went as low as 321, so we went 50 points of a sell-off. Maybe there's a reason why we are holding this area. This is an interesting area. Yesterday, this was major resistance, maybe a little bit of support, then resistance again. So, this area makes sense on to maybe why we bounced off of it. If we do sell through, the next area could, there's not too much of reference, right? I mean, you could go through and pick any of these little areas that could become support, but they're not very strong. They weren't well tested. This is a well tested area right around these 320s. And yeah, tough trading this market. Tomorrow's Friday. It's the Friday trading session. So maybe the best thing is, and you guys hear me say this way too often, and you hear me say it almost every single night, is wait. You could always wait. We could always wait. Be patient, sitting on our hands, waiting for the market to show us better trading conditions. Wait for the market to show us better trade setups. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything. This is a no trade for me here in the NASDAQ, long or short. The more I look at it, I can't even convince myself to buy it or sell it. Anyway, moving on to crude oil. Crude oil is a little bit more of a different story. Basically the same one I said last night. Bullish. I'm bullish crude. I've been bullish crude. We've been in this consolidation. I was wanting to buy it yesterday or the day before. I was wanting to buy it yesterday. I'm wanting to buy it today. And each time I say that, we do run and we just barely break the previous low. And then again, we just barely broke the previous low once again. And now we're pushing right back up. This is where we were last night, right? This is exactly where we were last night, right around 740s. And it's the same story. You guys can rewatch yesterday's recording, and it's the same thing. We're consolidating here, and I'm pretty bullish on crude oil from right here. And the more I'm watching this play out, I am seeing this as a possibility of becoming a higher low. And now, the longer we stay here, the more likely I'm looking at this thing, and maybe can we return to $75 a barrel? That's possible. We've been sitting here for a while. At least bare minimum for me, and I say bare minimum is I'd like to see this thing at least get to maybe $72 a barrel. $72 a barrel would be my first target, and then maybe hold on to some trades. Anything can happen, but yeah, here's a low. Here's a higher low, and I don't see a reason why this wouldn't be another higher low, even though, this intermediate trend, right, since the past 2 weeks, we are in a bearish market in the past 2 weeks. But over the past month and a half, it's bullish, right? And then you could continue to zoom out and make arguments for each. But yeah, this is the market structure I'm seeing on the hourly chart. If we zoom into the 5-minute chart, then you can make the argument for bearish market structure because of this major sell-off. And yeah, as you can see, this is a better market for me to be trading because we're at an area and a tradable area where you can make an argument to say, okay, maybe there's an area just like last night. If we want to short this, maybe this is an area for shorts. This could be an area to play a breakout to the long side. And then this is also an area where if you want to just wait, and if we do sell off down near these lows, then the bottom of this consolidation could be great buying opportunities with a stop loss. And now stop losses are difficult on oil because as we've seen it the last couple days, we've just barely been breaking through that low, running stops, and then immediate rejection. And so that was from 68.80s all the way back up, and now we're trading, $1.50. Yeah, $1.50 from where that low was. So much better market conditions here in crude in terms of a technical standpoint than the NASDAQ right now. Let's take a look at the Nikkei. How's the Nikkei? Almost identical trade to last night as well. Let me show you on the hourly chart. So this is the Nikkei. If you guys don't know, it's the Japanese market. Last night, the other day, we got this nice pullback. The trend was down. We got the pullback, and I missed the trade opportunity to sell that. And now here we are again tonight. Looks like we came back up, and maybe similar to what I was talking about with crude oil, we are possibly range bound, where we're just kind of going back and forth in this range between 39,000 and 39,550s, 39,600s. Maybe there's some buying opportunities to the bottom side, selling opportunities to the high side. But then we're in a situation where, if I zoom out, and if we do start to sell off and break through this support, we all know that the markets can break in any direction at any moment, and anything can happen. We could even sell off down to 38,000, down to either, maybe this is an interesting support and resistance zone. There's some support, resistance, and then the very next level can, very well be down here all the way to 37,800s. You can mark these as zones as big as you want. That's the idea, is that there is a lot more room to the downside right now in the Nikkei than there is to the long side. To the long side, obviously to the top of this range, and then maybe to this area, 40,000. 40,000 has been a key level for quite a while. So I think it's going to be hands off on the Nikkei for me. I missed another short opportunity tonight, unfortunately, just like last night, where last night I was looking for this to break. It broke, and it worked out really well. Tonight, it's kind of the same drumbeat where we broke, consolidated, and very well. In like another 30 minutes, maybe I'm going to be talking that the Nikkei's down here at 39,000 again, and that is it, right? That's what I'm seeing on the Nikkei. Let's take a look at gold. Gold is the market to be trading if you're a bull. Like, that's it. Gold is the market. If we take a look at the hourly, you can see last night, overnight, all-time highs here in gold, where this was a beautiful, you can see we hit last night with Coach J. We did hit all-time highs. It looks like we got up to 2702. We got that pullback, and after that pullback, this bullish trend has continued to hold. We went through, got up to 2712, and sitting here. This was resistance. This 2708 was resistance. So I am kind of curious if we're going to hold and continue to make all-time highs. Look at this. This was resistance during the London session. It's looking like it's becoming support. It's a decision zone, right? Whether we're going to sell off, maybe come back down to 2,700 or continue. And where do we go from here? I don't know. When you're at all-time highs, it's hard to trade. Sometimes in terms of direction, it's easy. You want to be a buyer. And the question is, where do we go? I don't know, to be honest. Maybe you guys know better than I do. Where can we go to gold? I know some traders are shouting out $3,000 in gold. Maybe that's a possibility. Close your eyes and buy. That has been the story of gold for quite a while now. If we look at the daily chart, that's been the answer here in gold, is just close your eyes and buy for this period. And this was just a pullback. It was a little bit scary, but technicals always tend to find a way where we pull back to resistance, right? This was resistance. The resistance became support. That was a beautiful rally. And then here again, right? It's a zone right at the top of this, and rally, breakout, pullback, rally, breakout, pullback. Rally, breakout, right? Breakout. Sometimes what I like to do, and then I'll get to some questions in the chat, is measure these moves, right? Like, okay, can we really see that big of a move? Or maybe something like this? Is that more realistic, where we can measure these breakout moves and say, okay, well, when we do break out, how far have we been getting on these bullish moves? And yeah, I like doing this. This is probably my favorite and the closest thing I can have when it gives me an idea. And then I like to just measure and say, okay, you know, maybe we could, I mean, we're about there, but if we want to measure from, like, we got that little pullback, we measure from there, maybe we can see 27.40. And these are just purely a guess. Like, this is 100% a guess. Just taking a measured move, that when we do move and we do break, how far does it go? I mean, maybe now that I'm looking at it from this perspective, maybe we could do something like this. We could say, okay, well, whenever we have these decent breakouts and these decent moves in gold, then, you know, maybe that's more of a realistic one. 27.50. I don't know. The idea is that we're breaking out. We're at all-time highs, and where do we buy it? Like that. That's the thing. It's always scary though in a market that's at all-time highs. You don't want to be the guy that's buying all-time highs, but then you also don't want to be the guy that's selling all-time highs. Let's go through some of these questions. I did go through that pretty quick. We do see a spike in volatility right at 8 p.m. Central in gold. We'll continue to watch that. You can see I always do have my live account now ready to go. It's queued up, and we'll be looking at these other markets to see if there's any opportunities. His royal trades target Dakota is the fibs. I mean Fibonacci's. Maybe you want to use Fibonacci's for targets and pullbacks. I mean, that's a very valid thing as well. I used to use Fibs target. Dakota, you're gonna drop an options video sometime soon. I think now that, I mean, I have a lot going on now with this dang wisdom teeth situation where it's kind of set me back a whole week, where I had a lot of stuff planned. We're talking about how I've been teasing the private group session that I'm going to be doing. I'm still going to be doing that. It's only going to be for 20 traders, and it's going to be a one-time thing. But then also I've now committed to the VIP, having my own VIP, which is amazing. Now, you know, like I said, more details to come. I've now been pushed back a week because of this, and that's the reality of life, right? I mean, as much as I want to be at 100% and be here every single day, sometimes you get sick, sometimes you deal with these situations. Yeah. Best part of my night is listening to me. Well, hopefully I can also put you to sleep. Only Green Bay Packers fans could join the VIP. Maybe No, I don't get to just say I want you, and you in the VIP. Like I said, there's going to be more details to come. There's already, how many do we have now? How many is in the VIP? How many groups we have? I'm looking at the Topstep Discord, and we have the Lunatics, the Market Makers, Mindset Hunters, and the new, Hoops group, which is the Pit Raiders. And then, up and coming, we're going to be having another one. That's going to be Paul's, right? That's going to be Paul's VIP session or group. And so there's going to be another 50, which is amazing. And then mine. So we'll see. There's no name. There's going to be a whole lot more to come. Stay tuned. I'm excited for that. I really am. Actually, you lost 20 accounts. Oof. I mean, yeah, that is the reality of trading. What's your guys' thoughts on? And I know that's been going around the internet, and I think it's even been mentioned on TopstepTV a little bit. I can't even think. Robinhood. I'm so excited that Robinhood's got some futures. Who has a Robinhood account? Yeah, I'll be doing the form Drew in slow markets. Yep, everything I'm going to be talking about for my VIP is going to be for slow markets. So if there's a form, I'm going to do it during the slow markets. If whatever I have control of, I'm going to do it for slow markets. That's where my dedication is for the traders in slow markets. Good for the industry, but there's going to be a lot of folks at Robinhood that blow up a lot of accounts. Yes, Dan. Yeah, Webull has futures. I'm for that. I agree with what you said, Dan. It's going to be really good for the industry, but there's going to be a lot of learning, and there's going to be a lot of lessons that traders who have never traded futures will be learning. They're going to learn the reality of trading futures, and it's not a simulated environment. It's like, okay, live trading is, to me, the correct direction, and the direction that futures, I mean, that's what it is. We are futures traders. We want to be live futures traders. We're not demo traders, burning through accounts. And you guys get to see and hear all that stuff on TopstepTV during the day show. MPs, I think, spoken on a few times, and you guys are going to see more, which is good. Yeah, you're all going to learn today. I'd be really curious on the statistics when it becomes live on how traders are doing in the futures on Robinhood. That would be an interesting stat. But it's going to be very good for the industry. And as traders learn, prop firms are still going to be there, and I'm excited to continue to grow with Topstep, because Topstep's going to be here who knows, when the traders are trying to trade on Robinhood, and they're like, okay, I just blew up my live account. Where do I learn? Right? And then here we are with this amazing community, and maybe giving them a platform to learn in a safe environment, and then get back to that live trading. Yeah. Yeah, John T. There's a lot of traders in this very similar situation. Taking out the dollar amount, you input any dollar amount and say, I've lost X amount of live dollars trading over a period of X amount of time, and you wish you found a prop firm where you can trade in a safer environment, and then trade someone else's money, and then eventually get back to the live environment to where you have that confidence of trading live money, and then even your own accounts again, right? Because that's the goal. That's the goal. That's the direction that everyone should be looking for and towards, and that we're starting to see more and more. Finally, it's becoming more and more talked about, is that, hey, wow, okay, maybe we shouldn't burn through combine after combine after combine, or demo on demo on demo, and start realizing we need to take this serious. It's not a joke. Why would you want to trade live money over prop firm? There's a huge list of reasons, Seith. Yeah, Richard, I wouldn't say hate. I've always against copy trading many accounts for traders who don't understand. Yep. Because when you're brand new and you're still learning how to trade, then it doesn't make sense to increase leverage. You should be doing the exact opposite. We're seeing a little bit of spike in volatility here. It's right at 8 p.m. We'll watch this gold. We'll see what gold does. We see a spike in volatility at 8. Let's see what it does. Yesterday we watched it. We watched gold hit new all-time, or new. Nah, we didn't watch it hit highs. We watched it break 2,700. All new all-time highs is going to be 2712. So I'm going to just go ahead and mark that right there. And let's see if we could get to 2712.7. So will gold get there? That's the question. I don't have the air horn programmed into my stream deck. Like I said, I promised I'm going to get this stream deck set up by the end of October, and this dentist situation's put me a week behind on that as well. So we'll see this one go. Yeah, that's always the debate I've started to see, is what's the value of a live account? Well, you can't go open up your own practice account and make money on your own practice account and then get paid magically by who, right? The goal is to teach traders to become better traders, better money managers, and make money, and then be able to do it on your own. And once you're able to do it on your own, you go open up your own brokerage account with your own personal live money. And then when you make it, that's all yours. Like, that's it. That's the goal. And then be able to do it, independently, so you don't rely on anybody. Here we go. We're getting a nice bounce here on gold. How's these other markets going? And then I'm going to continue to answer some questions. Like I said, it's 7:03. And then maybe we could talk some strategy. Then we could start talking strategy, get some strategy into it. We'll talk about my trading today. And I'm sure there's going to be some questions about the way that I was trading today, some of my trades. I mean, you guys get to see it here every single night. It's the same thing going in, going out. But, yeah, always looking for ways to improve and grow the slow markets community as well. Japanese core CPI. Okay, we got some news coming out then. Is that right? Yeah, here's the news coming up at 20 hours. I mean, I'm Mountain Standard Time, so that's 4 hours before midnight. Oh, did I just switch it? We had South Korea, so we'll approve rates falling to 22 compared to 23. Gallup. So we're seeing some volatility coming into these markets. I want to see new all-time highs here in gold during slow markets again. Toby, heard I did good in trading. Yes. Which broker do I use? For my personal accounts, I use Interactive Brokers and Tasty Trade. And for, of course, Topstep only for prop firm and what I'm teaching here. What's an SMI indicator versus regular stochastics? I don't know, Tom. I don't know too much about many of those indicators. I do like the stochastics. I would recommend, if you are going to use an indicator, keep it simple. You don't want a bunch of indicators, and the more simple you can make your trading, typically the better off you are. So I don't really have much advice when it comes to indicators. Usually one or two, and practice. I don't use indicators outside of basic technical analysis. Yeah, John Maya, that's the idea. That's what everyone's having, that conversation, and you guys, we're always going to have these fun conversations. I'd much rather have them with MP than just by myself. We talk about those things. That's 100% the stuff we talk about. We talk about everything in the futures industry. We talk about prop firms in general, what's changing, what's moving, where we're going. We want to go towards where the puck is going, not where it's at. Okay, here we are. Gold's 27.11. Can we see it? New all-time high in gold tonight? I don't know. It's looking more bullish. Look at the contracts coming in. Take a look at this. Look at that. We have 86 sitting at 27.11. We have 89 sitting at 27.10.5. So there's a lot of contracts coming in. Now, what does that mean? I don't know, because I don't trade the books like that. I mean, so far, what it means is we're going up. Like, that's the direction we're going. Buyers stepping in there. This is the futures contract. 27.11.5. And I'm watching these other markets. So if you guys see anything else move, shout it out. We're going to watch gold for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to start talking about strategy. And I know everybody wants to be talking strategy. We'll talk about a few trades I took today. And I'll talk about how I got in, where I had my stop loss, how I got out, and then answer questions regarding that. And then maybe we could find some overnight trades tonight. Slow market trades. Trader, Tesla, copper. I don't look at copper. I'm sorry. Keep the dome open, please. Yeah, we could keep the dome. Dome. Okay, here we go. 12s. Can we see 12.7? Actually, 12.8 would technically be a new all-time high here in gold. Thomas, there we go. Fellow Green Bay Packer fan. Oh no, it's Thursday. Today's Thursday. You know what I forgot to do? There's a game on tonight, right? Is there a game on tonight? I forgot. Oh well, it's too late now. I forgot to edit my fantasy football lineup. Well, yeah, I'm not doing any good in fantasy football anyway. Okay, we're gonna watch this. I want to see us all-time highs here in gold, and I want to see how we react because there could be a decent opportunity here. Time goes fast, everybody. Time goes way too fast. Well, see how fast things change? All right, now we're right back down to 12 evens. I don't want to sit here and bore. I'm not seeing anything else in the markets moving. Nikkei is starting to sell off a little bit. But we can sit here and watch gold and I'll answer questions. Watching gold and answering questions. Crude oil's not moving. I'm thinking we could get there. We're getting close. Should we look at the 5 minute? 5 minute looks a little bit better. There's the all-time high in gold. Oof. And now we wait. This is slow markets for sure. NQ found resistance. Did you go to college? Yes, I did. Yes, looks like it wants to sell. I'm just going through these markets. I'm going to make a quick run around the markets. Let's take a look at crude oil. Maybe we could talk about any overnight trades. I do see an overnight trade here in crude. I'm going to be honest. There's a trade idea that I want to be placing tonight. And maybe we place it tonight. As an example, right? Like just in school where a teacher would go and do a problem on the whiteboard or on the chalkboard and everyone follows along. That's going to be the same thing. It's going to be a slow markets trading. This is more in depth, and I'm excited for the VIP session. The VIP, I'm going to go really in depth about this kind of stuff as well. But I do see a trade in crude oil for an overnight trade. Hopefully I'm not going to be missing it. It's going to be to the long side, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It is going to be playing for a break through and above this consolidation, a break out to the long side, looking for 72. But I'll be talking about how I usually put it on, putting a stop loss, putting take profits, and all that fun stuff. Hopefully I don't miss it too much. We're going to finish going over gold and then start. I missed it. That's okay. Here we go. All-time high. New all-time high here in gold. There we go. Happened so fast. Wow, that happened really quick. There's the all-time high. New all-time high. Air horns. Where's anybody with an air horn? I don't have an air horn here. Yeah, new world wet record. Everyone who bought gold is made money. Buy that Costco gold and you're already in profit. Yeah. J Money, Dakota, what size do you recommend for a 30K live account? It depends what you're trading and what your risk appetite is. I mean, there's a lot more details maybe that you could give me. Like, give me an idea. Is this the live account at a prop firm? Is this your personal live account? What's your risk appetite? But it really evolves around those questions. I wouldn't risk more than just a few $100s until you feel confident. A Topstep live is what you're saying. You want to trade exactly the same way. Now, please hear me out. And this is the way I see this, and I'm always going to be suggesting it. When you trade a combine and you pass it and you go into an XFA, I would trade that exactly the same way you traded your combine. And then when you pass that and you're trading your XFA, you're trading it in the exact same way, and then you get to a live account, I would trade that the same. I'd say I'm going to trade it the same way that's got me there. There's no change in the way that you should be trading your live to your combine to your XFA. You got that live account trading a specific way, so you should just keep doing it. If you feel hesitant, if you feel like scared or emotional, it's okay to size down, but don't size up for any reason. Like, hey, if you trade say you trade 3 minis, and then you get transferred to a live account, then you can trade 2 minis. Okay, it's less about the size and it's more about the process. Yeah, there's a scaling rule there for a reason, so you don't just go 15 contracts, 15 contracts, 15 contracts. But it's more about the process. The exact same process doing it with 1 micro should be the exact same process of doing it with 1 mini. Okay, good. Well, great work, J Money. If you got into a live account, big shout out to you. I love to hear that. That's good. So we're having a hard time holding on to the all-time high. So it looks like we broke out. We got 27.14. We pulled all the way back down to 27.11, and now we're having a hard time holding it. Let's take a look. Let's see. Longs being cooked in the NASDAQ. Yeah, I mean, if you were buying it up here, of course. Now, we sold off. It's hard to trade this market in the NASDAQ. Sometimes in the NASDAQ, I want to explain this. This is a trade that I do take. I'm going to get rid of this, Dom. Sometimes a trade that I take in the NASDAQ is what I'll do. This doesn't work all the time, but it's a trade that I do like. It's an idea and a concept. So I take where we opened at 5 p.m. Central, and usually what I like is that if we go in any direction, okay, this is just an idea, guys. It's not a signals. So this is because I truly believe that markets consolidate a lot more than they trend, right? So the market's going to consolidate a lot more than they break out and have big moves like we seen last night. Last night was it was abnormal. You don't see typically moves like last night. Like that is a 1.5% move overnight. That's not normal, right? You typically see consolidation, market conditions, and you're always if you ever pull up the news, you're like, markets are flats waiting for a news, or markets are flat in overnight trading session, or blah, blah, blah. You typically see that, right? Or slightly changed. And that's what I like to play a lot of times during the Asian session, to where if we do get a big sell-off, let's say we do move, say 0.5%. Usually I like 1/4 to 0.5%. So there's 1/4. So I'm going to put this here. And I want to make this a point because I don't talk about this very much. And I was kind of saving it for the VIP. But I'm always going to be able to go more in depth. So this is where we opened at 5 p.m. This is 1/4%. And the next thing is I like 0.5%. So 1/4 and then 0.5%. And it's a zone. I mean, oh, dang it. It's not an exact number. It's just an estimate, right? So let's just say 0.5%. Say that's 0.5% sell-off. So somewhere right there. And so what I like to do is if we get somewhere in this area, and you could even make your own rules up, right? And just say, oh, maybe I'm looking for 0.75%. The idea behind this is if we get oversold during the Asian session, then a lot of times a reversal trade works pretty well. Like a reversal trade to return back to where we opened at 5 p.m. Central is what I like to trade. And now it doesn't always work, right? Because if we were trying to do this last night, I mean, it might have worked. And then, let's see. Let me go through. it wouldn't, it would have not worked, because very rarely we're going to get a market that just rallies so far. And that's the idea of having a stop loss, because you never know what's going to happen. You're not going to win 100% of the trades. But this would have played out tonight. I didn't take this because, this was pretty volatile and it happened really quick. But a lot of times, sometimes you'll see the market go slow and we start to drift down. And then for me, I like to take the reversal back to where we opened at 5 p.m. And then the same's on the inverse side. Same thing. Same thing is for the inverse side, where what I like to do is basically copy paste, do this to short the market. Say, hey, if we get anywhere between, 0.25%, I'm going to go ahead and put a line there and make this one green, right? If we go positive 0.25%, or positive, let's just say this one's 0.5%. Let's see, that's just me eyeballing it. So then I would look for shorts in the market. And then I don't just short it for no reason. I like to get like a 3-bar reversal, some type of reversal pattern that will signal me into a short. Every once in a while, as long as I know there's no news, right? News will affect it. Of course, I'm not going to play this strategy if there's a major news event overnight that could move the markets dramatically, or if there's more headline risk than normal, like what we're seeing now, where there's a lot of headline news in terms of like conflict and war, that could move the markets really dramatically. But the idea behind this is, let's just say this. Let's just say, what if the market does sell off? Maybe I would want to put a sell limit order. So I'm just going to put this on here. So I'm just going to say this is what the idea would be, is I would put a buy limit order, not a sell limit order, a buy limit order right there. Say, if the market gets oversold, I like the buy limit order. And then I say, this makes sense because there's some nice support in this zone. Maybe you even make an argument for a little bit further down. And then I look for a buy limit order, and then I put a stop loss. Maybe I'll put my stop loss somewhere down here below this support. Let me make this a lot cleaner. So there's my buy order. This would be my stop loss. And that would be my trade. And then my take profit would be right back to where we opened at 5 p.m. So say this one would be my take profit. I'm going to change that one to green. And that's kind of the idea that I like to trade. Usually I get a whole lot better risk reward. And so maybe I could even do something like this. This one would make more sense for me, where I could typically get a 4-to-1 risk reward or a 5-to-1 risk reward in a situation like this. Now, the probabilities, obviously, I'm going to lose this a lot more than I win, but the probabilities of having a 4-to-1 risk reward or a 3-to-1 risk reward, you're going to have a positive expectancy. Now, this is just an example of the way I like to trade sometimes a reversal on the NASDAQ, especially during the Asian session. Now, let's take a look at gold. So there's gold is holding the all-time highs. So that could have been a nice reverse. That could have been a nice pullback to buy. We could probably see it better. Yeah, a rally, a flagging pattern, a pullback, and maybe that could have been a buying opportunity to see if we could break for a new all-time high at 27.14. Yeah, so I want to get you guys excited for the VIP. I want to be going over more stuff like I just went through on the NASDAQ, not just in the VIP, but during slow markets. I want to be doing this more and more, and trying to find a good way to be consistent at doing it. Sorry, I don't have the power to just pick, you guys. I can't do that. I wish I could. If I could, I would, right? But I can't to pick who I'm actually bringing in. It doesn't work like that. But I can promise one thing. I can promise there will be 50 traders, and I believe I could promise that it's not going to be the last time. My understanding is that they're going to start with 50 traders, some's going to go, and then we're going to need to continue to draft more traders to fill up the roster of 50. That's my understanding. Target, stays tuned. I will be dropping the form. If it is a form, like I said, Stay tuned. There's going to be more details, but there'll be a form based off of my understanding that I will be putting in slow markets. It's going to be exclusive to slow markets. And yeah, stay tuned. I have to get over next week first. Next week's going to be a rough week for me. Yeah, gold's pushing all-time highs again. Really curious to see how we're going to react. Once more. 27.14 is the all-time high. What's next week? I'm getting my wisdom teeth removed, so I'm not going to be as available as planned. I'm going to be living off of like smoothies and yeah, it's going to suck. There we go. New all-time high right there. 14.2, 14.3. So who's long gold? Anybody in the chat? Let's see. Is anybody long gold right now? I'm curious. Galvanized trader, you are. Mandy. Oh man, look at everybody. Maybe a better question is, who's short gold? I'm fading gold short. Okay, A6B9 is short gold. Chauncey sold gold. Seth is short. All right, I'm curious to see who's short gold. That's the better answer. I want to see. Where's your stop loss at if you're short gold? Where would you put a stop loss if you're shorting gold? Was that your stop loss? Was 14.4 your stop loss? Don't need one. No limit stop. You're long 2 ATRs picking the top. I don't know. I personally wouldn't short this, but follow your strategy. Whatever your strategy is, follow it. I don't know if there is a strategy out there that says short the all-time high, but maybe it's off of a move or an average true move or something. I don't know. Like I said, there's probably a strategy out there that does work. I mean, if you short the all-time high up here when we first broke, you might have made some money. But it could be very scary. Very scary. I mean, there we go. We just went through. 14.8 was 14.8 your stop loss. There's 79 contracts sitting there at 715. Ooh, there's 60 contracts just came in at 14.5. Shorting is best below 12. Where is Nikkei? Could be heading down. I don't know. Maybe gold does sell off. Like I said, I just never know. I don't have the confidence, and I'm not brave enough to short gold up here. Yeah, this is level 2. This is level 2 for gold. And then if we move to, like, say, Nikkei, Nikkei's selling off. You can see the level 2 on the Nikkei. That could have been some short opportunities in the Nikkei I missed out for again. And then we take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ, oh, I need to get that one off. Got to take that order off. Let me make sure. Cancel all orders. Okay. Let me make sure. Okay, cancel all orders. Okay. I don't want to be caught with an order on. NASDAQ's not following suit with the Nikkei. Nikkei's been just selling off. I mean, it feels just like last night in the Nikkei. And then gold is not giving up. Gold is just not giving up. You didn't take it either. Wait for the pullback. Let's go through. Does price move to the biggest numbers? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Lee. Price does like round numbers. So, for example, on gold, price tends to like round numbers. I mean, almost any market, price likes round numbers. 2,700. That's a big round number. You can see price test, broke out, came down, tested again. Price loves big psychological numbers. I don't know if that's what you mean or if you are referring to like big numbers on the DOM. Big numbers on the DOM, like, oh, there's 90 contracts at 27.15. I mean, it's a big order, and sure, one could make an argument that price tends to move to where the liquidity is. Like, there's 50 contracts at 13.4, another 50 that just came on at 13.6, and then another 50 at 13.3. You could say price does like to come down and fill those. Maybe price likes to come down and fill these ones. The thing is, anything can happen, and I'm not good at trading based off of this. So I know Coach Jay and then Rips is a lot better than I am at reading the book and reading order flow. So hopefully that answered some of your questions. I don't know. I don't watch it enough. Is DOM better than times and sells? I could not tell you. I could not give you a confident answer on that target. Like I said, Coach J and Rips is dramatically better than I am. I would personally say the DOM, the depth of the market, what we're seeing here, is more important than time and sells. But then, I don't know, time and sells is actually sells and orders that have been filled. The DOM, there's a lot of like manipulation that you could do, and like, hey, maybe is this a real order? Or can it be a computer where they could just pull this before it gets filled? So yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert when it comes to that. For me, it's technical analysis. So yeah, some people do trade based off the DOM. Some people trade based off of time and sells. Some people trade both. Some people like myself do not use either of those. Isn't time and sells only for Topstep execution? Nope. Everything that you see is for a centralized exchange. The DOM and the time of sells is direct from a centralized exchange. It's real live data. This is real live data. This is a live account. So it's not just Topstep. It's everyone trading this market. That's the beauty about a centralized exchange. For new traders, ooh, this is a good question. While we're continuing to make all-time highs here in gold, so man, everyone who's short gold is definitely under pressure. Wherever you're short gold at, most likely you are. Oh wow, there we go. There's some stops. Everyone who is short, did you get stopped out? Who got stopped out on that one? Who's still short? I'm curious. Oh, look, there's 100 contracts that just came in at 715.4. That's a big order. And did it just get filled or did they pull it? That was not good for short. Someone short 2708. Hopefully in micros, maybe. Stop is at 2728. It's scary to short this thing, I tell you, because of that. It's the opposite of a falling knife. It's fading a rally. Is that the opposite of a falling knife? Fading a rally, I think so. Yeah, this market is strong. It's so hard to short it. But then it's also hard to buy this, right? Like, how do you buy this market? I mean, close your eyes and buy, maybe wait for a little bit of a pullback. But then we could just drop really quick. It's just, this is a good market to watch, a bad market to trade for me right now. Good night, Greg. Lay down my silo. Do you feel like gold is the opposite to the indices? you, I don't really look at correlation very much. So correlation is worked out worse in my favor whenever I think about correlation, because markets could do whatever they want when they want. Gold could be rallying, NASDAQ could be rallying. Gold's continuing to sit here and make all-time highs. And if we switch over the NASDAQ's going up as well, right? And NASDAQ's going up and gold's going up. So I don't really look at those too much. To me, I look at them as completely individual markets when I'm trading. But yeah, there is an idea, right? For example, the dollar, is the dollar going up and down? Gold's going to be typically inversely correlated or whatever. Like if the dollar goes up, gold goes down, or is it exact 1-to-1? And then you could say the same thing with different currency pairs. And then you could say the different thing with gold and silver, for example, right? If we take a look at, this is another interesting thing that I've been trying to watch this, is if this is gold, and then we take a look at silver, which is also a precious metal, silver's not at all-time highs. Silver's going up, but it's not at all-time highs. And then we take a look at gold. Gold is just going up. And then you could do the same thing with like the NASDAQ and the ES. They might be correlated to a certain extent, but they're not exact. Platinum's also down. Do I have another window on a different time frame? Nope. What you see is what I'm looking at. Sometimes I'll go like this, and I'll have one time frame on this side and another time frame on that side. For slow markets at night, I just have one chart. Gage, I ran off track from your question. Did I? I probably did. What was your question, man? I'm still feeling the pain from my wisdom teeth because it hurts really bad. I've been struggling to eat, and that's why I've had to have not an emergency, but schedule for this next week. It was very unplanned and unfortunate. Are you bullish the NASDAQ overnight? Nope, I am neutral. Okay, slow market versus New York session. I would say I personally like slow markets, the Asian session, but it really depends on you and your time availability. If you have more availability during one, then maybe focusing on that is better. Take a look at this. Look, there's another 100 contracts at 27.18. I don't have a preference when it turns. I can't really say one market's easier than the other. I just say find one, stick with one that fits your personal schedule. Do your personal schedule. Maybe you could test out both and find which one's better for you. Let's see if these 90 they got filled. Who's still short this market? This is scary to short, everybody. I mean, boom. Look at, wow. Wow. Like, what can you say? Here's another 90 contracts at 720. Those got filled. Look at this, guys. Oh, my. Well, last chance to short. Don't short NASDAQ. I don't know. All-time highs. I could be sitting here playing the air horn all class. We're just hitting the air horns. Yeah, just straight up. It's even hard to buy this. Like, where do you buy it? You just close your eyes and buy. Yeah, shorts are not in a good position. Why would you ever buy the high? I mean, we made all-time highs right here. So if you would have bought here, the high, the technical high at the moment, I mean, you made some good money, right? If you would have bought here, then there it is, right? You could say it's difficult to buy the current high, but it's not, it's all, we could always go higher, right? That's the same reason. Oh, would you sell the high? Well, if you sold here, you're not in a good position. So it's always that, it's always the catch-22, right? If we were going the exact opposite, it's like, oh, how could you sell this, right? Well, you could always sell it because guess what? It could always go lower. Do you know where this thing's going to stop? I do not. Yeah, you could do, I mean, maybe you have some type of strategy or some idea that helps give you a positive expectancy to short this. Maybe. I don't. But yeah, if you have some way or reason to short gold right now and still have a positive expectancy doing this, then man, that's great, right? We don't make all-time highs very often, but maybe it's not based off of an all-time high. Maybe it's based off of an average true move. Maybe it's based off of some indicator that says, okay, we are overbought and we can expect some type of a pullback. That is very realistic. But to say it's not good to buy this, I mean, sure, I could argue against not buying it. I don't want to buy this market because it's untradeable to me, because it's a very difficult market to be trading. I don't like to trade all-time highs because this reason. This reason, we could sell off right back down in a blink of an eye. But that's just me. That's me, my own personal strategies, and the only way that I trade the market. Someone else can very well make money in doing this. That's exactly right. It all evolves around risk. It is where would you put the risk? How do you put a stop loss? Where do you put your stop loss? Where do you put your targets? If you buy this, where's your target? Maybe do you do an ATR? Do you do, I don't know. We could switch to a demo account and try it, but I don't know how educational that would be. What's the other markets doing is the question. Micro gold. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. See, NASDAQ's going up, down, consolidating. Let's take a look at Nikkei. Nikkei's starting to bounce a little bit. And then crude oil, crude oil's starting to sell off. Yeah, so let's take a moment. I want to talk about crude oil. Okay, so here is an overnight trade concept that I want to go over this real quick because it's important. It's a slow markets concept. I'm actually going to switch to a combine because it's purely for an example. There's an express. Oh, come on. What's going on? Okay, I'm going to switch to a combine. Oh, that's weird. Let's go to this. So here is something I am looking at getting set up, and I want to go through this just like a teacher would go through a problem on the whiteboard. Feel free to follow along. You could do this in your own demo account. It's purely for practice and education. So let me go through this. This is an overnight trade concept. I typically do trade exactly like this. I trade on a higher time frame. So let's take a look at the hourly chart. And so just like I did the analysis during rapid fire, when I went through and I did my very basic analysis. So the way I'm seeing crude oil is I'm looking at this as a higher low and saying, okay, there's a good chance that, you know, if crude does break out, we could see a move to maybe $72 a barrel, right? $72 a barrel is very reasonable. I'm going to be looking for crude to get to $72 a barrel. And so on the opposite side of this could be a very realistic area for a stop loss. So having my stop loss down the bottom of this consolidation, and then I think to myself, all right, let me make these, I want to make this white actually. Get these to the white color. And then do we want to buy at the bottom of this consolidation to have a really good risk reward but lower probability? Or do we want to buy on the breakout to have a higher probability, but then struggle on the risk aspect? So let's do this. I like to look at it from a 1 hour chart, and I do my analysis on the hourly chart because these are trades that I place and I let them run overnight. And so right now I see this area as support, and I also can see some support right there just below 69, 69.50. And then this is going to be a nice area for a breakout. So the idea I'm thinking of and that I'm going to be putting on tonight is going to be a buy stop. Now a buy stop, if you guys don't know, it's just an order that triggers me into a long once price hits it. So it's going to be a buy stop on a breakout trade somewhere up here. I'm going to zoom into a 5-minute chart and I could fine tune that. So right now, buy stop going to be up on a breakout trade around the 70-60 level. My take profit, my first take profit I'm seeing is going to be around, let's say, I do like, this is a little bit tough. I do see some resistance there, some resistance here, right around 71.86 is going to be my first take profit. Maybe there's a reason to put a take profit at 71.41. So I'm going to do these as green, because those could be realistic take profits. Now I'm kind of just, this is a rough draft. This is very well a rough draft is a good way to explain this. So entry around 70-60s for a breakout, maybe 70-56. I don't know. We'll zoom into a 5-minute chart and kind of fine tune it, kind of like zoom in. And then stop losses. Well, stop loss for me is going to, I want to be, below some type of support for a stop loss on a long. So maybe a stop loss below that. So I'm going to turn these as red for a stop loss, or maybe a stop loss there. So those are my first ideas of stop losses. So yeah, not too bad. Looking at more of a 1-to-1 risk reward on a breakout trade. Maybe you're looking for an entry near the lows. Maybe you say if crude oil does sell off down to these lows, then you could look for a buy limit, and then you could maybe have wider stop losses, better risk reward. That is also an option, but I'm liking a buy stop for a breakout because I want to get in as the market's going in my direction. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put that there. Next thing I like to do is a zoom in. So I'll zoom into a 5-minute chart and see if I can fine tune this a little bit better. And so now we're going to start to see where we could actually have our orders. So of course down here is going to be the safest for a stop loss. To me, that's just too much. Because if I measure this, there's my entry. My stop loss would be 172 ticks. And my take profit, where's this at? My take profit would be on the long end, 132. So that's an upside down risk reward. So I don't like that. That's not doable. I have to be at least a 1-to-1 risk reward or better. So this stop loss is definitely not valid. It won't work out. Comparing it to that. And so my other stop loss would be 69.42. I'm actually liking just below that little pivot. So 69.32. And if that's my entry, so I then would have a stop loss of 117 ticks compared to 132. So that's more realistic. That is something I'm going to be looking for. That's actually something I like. I think that's valid. That is going to be a valid trade for me. I'm going to delete that one and let's set this up. So now we talk about risk. One contract on CL is $10 per tick. I would be risking $1,100. That is too much for me. So I'm going to go ahead and jump to micros. So let's go to micros. Micros only $1 per tick. Right? Correct? Yeah, $1 per tick. And so if my entry is going to be a buy stop, let's say at 70.60. So buy stop at 70.60. I'm going to just go ahead and put the order right there. Buy stop at 70.60. That would be my buy stop to enter into a long once the market gets there. My stop loss is going to be 69.30. We'll just say 5. Now remember, this is purely an example. So these are on micros. $125 per contract. I'm fine at risking, say, $400. So three contracts is valid. So if I put 3 contracts on here, I'll be risking 125 times 3. So I'll be risking $375 on this trade. That's valid. I like this. And then my profit is going to be, I was looking at right around there, right, 71.80. So my profit on this, so I'm risking 375, and then my profit would be 120 times 3 is going to be about 360. That's pretty close to a 1-to-1. Actually, I'm going to put it right there. So yeah, about a 1-to-1. So that's going to be valid. 3 contracts, risking 375 to make. Oh, come on! Didn't want to put that text. I'm going to do this to make exactly the same. So a 1-to-1 risk reward, risking 375 to make 375. The next thing I want to do is go into my settings, risk 375, profit 375. Automatically apply the risk. Click on save. I'm going to go in here. These are micros. It's $1 per tick for the risk. And I'm going to go ahead and clear this. I'm going to put it at 70.60. So this is going to be a buy stop, 3 contracts, 760. So when it does get triggered, it will automatically put my stop loss at minus 375, which will be wherever it was. I think it was there. And then my take profit at plus 375. So that is going to be the trade I'm going to run on tonight. And yeah, it'll only trigger me in if we break out. I will only get triggered in if I break out. And I will leave this trade on. I'll go to sleep and I'll let this run. Tommy, so Dakota, knowing that you are around a 25% win rate, would you still take the 1-to-1 trade? Yes, I will. The 25% win rate is on not every single trade. It's on some trades. Some trades, it's a 50-50 win rate with, a 1-to-1 risk reward or a little bit better. Overall, I range between, say, 20 and 35%. So this is much greater than a 25% win rate. I will even say it's, this is me just guessing. I would say I would win this, and this is profitable 60% of the time based off my analysis. This is more of a 60% win rate, maybe a 50%. It's, you could even say 50%. Breakout trades are more probable. So that's why I said about 60%, depending on where your stop loss is. Some might argue this is a better stop loss, but if we get here, can we go there? Yeah, it depends on where you want your stop loss. And this is purely an example. So there we go. That is it. I'm going to continue to try and go more in depth about this. Yeah, any questions that how can you hold overnight? The markets are open until 3 p.m. Central, 3:10 p.m. Central for Topstep. You can hold this trade all day, all night, and into the end of the New York session. So yeah, let's take a look at gold. What's gold doing? Continuing to go up. Okay, who's short gold? Anybody short gold? Let me know. I'm curious. Archer, here. Toby. Yeah, check in for short gold. We need a blue combine. Nope. Oh, there we go. Things have changed a little bit. Lee, short gold. We're doing a, what do they call it? To check your own, like check in, make sure everyone's okay who's short. Yeah, this gold is strong. Man, not today. Holding long gold. Great. John says you were. Welfare check? Yeah. Welfare check for the shorts on gold. Who's short gold? Man, what a crazy market. Silver. Let's take a look at silver. Silver's pushing. Not even at all-time highs. Here's the worst. I mean, how many times have you heard this, right? Like, oh, if we short here, now is where it's going to pull back. I mean, it's dangerous, right? There was a pullback there. There was a pullback here. I mean, are we going to see another one? I don't know. It's scary to think that, right? All-time high. Okay, it can't go any higher. Now we're going to get a pullback. No, now we're going to get a pullback. Maybe this time we're going to get that pullback. You just never know. It's very scary. If you're profitable, great. I just can't do it myself. Welfare check on the shorts. We have 7 minutes left of class. Yeah. Wow. What a market. I am back on a short on gold. J Trades. I used to have a magic 8-ball around here. I don't know what happened to it, but that's the closest indicator I have of telling me when to short going this way. You went long at 374. I'm not sure what that means. Proud to be short. Someone has to take the other side. Yeah, I have a magic 8-ball here somewhere. That's my all-time high short indicator. Probably met the... Come on, Topstep rules. My 8-balls met... it's in the graveyard with all the mice I've thrown. I do not have any crypto. Nope. Okay, interesting. I've just passed my combine after 2 months of trading. Now I'm scared to touch it. What should I do? Well, number one, you need to trade it exactly the same thing that how you were trading when you passed. If you are scared, then the best thing to do is to size down. Trade micros. Yeah, you got to start somewhere. You do. I mean, you pass the combine, trade exactly the same way. Keep your emotions out of it. If there's any nervousness, size down, trade micros, and then gain your confidence that way. Quality over quantity. Yeah. Yes, correct me if I'm wrong. You use the 1 hour and 5 minute to determine the direction and use the 1 minute to enter. I just showed exactly what I do in slow markets. The New York session during fast markets, I trade a bit differently. The idea is the same, but the execution is just a little bit different. You meant to say... Yeah, Dakota long silver with us? Who's us? I've been trading for 14 and a half years now. It's October. It's the middle of October. Just over 14 years. Yeah. I live in West Dakota, Big 15. West Dakota. It's just to the left of North Dakota and South Dakota. Yeah, this is silver. Interesting. Yeah, I don't. It's just so choppy. I don't know. I'm not a silver trader. Let's go. Well, the shorts are working if you happen to short up there so far. Let's take a look at NASDAQ. Is anything else going? We have a few more minutes left. Oh, yeah, NASDAQ had a nice little bounce. Nice bounce. 30 points from there. I'm sure it did Nikkei follow suit. Nope, NASDAQ or the Nikkei, this is the Japanese market, is not. We're continuing to be bearish on the NASDAQ or the Nikkei. But yeah, that's going to the end of class. We're coming at it. Thanks, everybody. It's the end of week. I'll be on TopstepTV tomorrow during fast markets. It's been a crazy week. It was a short week. It's been a fun week. Unfortunately, this issue with my wisdom teeth has showed up. So Nick for a Tick is going to be covering for me on Tuesday. Coach Jay is going to be covering for me on Wednesday night. And yeah, hopefully I can recover pretty quick. It sucks sometimes going through this. After that, I will be less wise. I'm not going to be as wise as I am now. So, beware of that. Maybe the quality is going to decrease. And hopefully it doesn't affect my trading. I did tell Mick and the risk management team to lock me out of my accounts after my wisdom teeth procedure. And so I will not be trading, and I think that's always going to be the best thing to do. If you feel like you're not at 100%, then don't trade. And who knows, when I'm off of anesthesia or whatever, as soon as I leave the doctors, of course I'm going to be a little bit loopy, and the last thing you want to do is to think that you might be able to trade. And so by doing so, it's always better to lock yourself out, regardless of how it is. Yeah, and it's miserable. My tooth freaking hurts. It really does. I have not been eating well, and it's been a little bit difficult to talk. But maybe that just shows how committed and how much I enjoy slow markets. I've been trying not to move my mouth as much. I can't even yawn. I can't open my mouth all the way, so I can't really yawn. Now, that being said, I mean, this week was a good one. Brent Steenbarger was on Tuesday. That was a great session. If you missed it, you could watch it. We did VIP. That was amazing for Coach Hoop. Doing the other one, I believe, for Coach Paul. Conversation with my VIP coming in November. My private group coaching that one time that I'm going to be doing for the 20 traders. Details yet to come on that one as well. And I'm taking my Series 3 tomorrow. I just started studying tonight. I have the book. I haven't really opened it very much. I've skimmed through some of it, and I started studying today, and I have the test tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. I mean, we'll see. Yeah, if I pass, of course I'm going to talk some smack on TopstepTV. Of everyone who is studying for so long. And I think Jack is taking the test tomorrow as well. I need to find out what time Jack is taking the test to see because I'm taking my test tomorrow at noon, 12 in Mountain Standard Time. Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really fun. Other than that, I think that's it. Erin Ellis is going to be on TopstepTV. She's a Canadian actor. She's going to be joining TopstepTV on October 24th. That's going to be a good one. That's going to be an interesting one. TopstepTV continues to just raise the bar on who they bring on and the quality that they give to everybody. So correction, he is going to be on TopstepTV. So, yeah. Other than that, guys, I'm getting all 4 of my wisdom teeth taken out. So less wise next week. everybody, see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Take care, and we do have a night bot now. We have a night bot. That is interesting. Okay, take care and enjoy. Good night.